What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to Real Talk. It's your boy, Kenny King. I know we've been gone for a minute. We had a lot of stuff going on, but we are back. And I want to talk about a couple of things that have happened the past couple of weeks. I want to talk about weeks 5 through 7. Now, week 5, the Raiders went into the Arrowhead on Monday night, and they played the Kansas City Chiefs. And it was a hard-fought game. Raiders came out with 1 point under. They lost the game. But some things that I liked from that game, some takeaways that I had, was that Davante Adams was balling. Derek and Davante got the connection back. You saw Josh Jacobs just running all over the Chiefs defense and making huge plays. You saw the Raiders defense getting after Max Crosby with 2 sacks on the night. Those are the things that you want to see. Those are the things that get you excited. The Raiders go into the bye week, and then they go and face the Texans. But before we get into that Raiders-Texans game, I just want to take a minute to shout out my boy, Joey French. This dude is 12 years old, and he's putting out some fire content. Make sure you guys go follow him on TikTok. I'll drop his information right below. I want you guys to make sure you follow him on TikTok because he is putting out some fire content, and he was able to put this together for me from the Raiders-Chiefs game. I got rich, yeah, the egg that I'm holding on. I got rich, yeah, bitch, I blew up like Osama. Yeah, I got rich, yeah, bitch, too tough all day summer. I can eat chop myself, yeah, how can I trust you? Yeah, I just walk in what I sell, yeah, and I'm fucking like Batu. I'm ready to bet the top of no maximum, don't better leave me. I want your right around Gilly, ain't be funny through windows to me. Not no point, yeah, yeah, not no point at me. We got a right, I beat that put up on this, tell my D better give me right. So much my watch is filled with ice. Y'all be standing, I got a lamb truck. I can't stand them, yeah, I heard enough. To the cranky in that lamb, on that side is go. I get cranky in that AM, need them turkey up. They been winning while they ain't made it, they not turning up. Got the million on my side, cause they super tough. Yo. 12 years old. This dude is going places. Make sure you guys give him a follow on TikTok. He is putting it together. I really appreciate him for putting that work out there. And I'm going to keep putting his content out there because it's fire. But Raider Nation, as we get into that Texans game, so the Raiders go in, they come back home. You're coming out of the bye week. They had some time to rest. You get guys to get healthy. You get Renfrow back. Waller was still out with a hamstring injury, but you get your guys back, right? And in the beginning, Davis Mills looked like a superstar quarterback. He looked like an all-pro out there. He was just throwing darts on the defense, and it was going back and forth. Raiders, Texans. All of a sudden, you go to halftime, and one thing that the Raiders have not done well over the years is halftime adjustments. This is where the Raiders really stepped up. After the half, they came out, and they put it on them. Josh Jacobs started running the rock with authority. Derek started hitting Davante on those middle routes because it was wide open out there. When they started – when Josh starts running, they start getting conservative and start trying to play the run. Derek said, okay, boom, I'm going to get it to Renfrow. Boom, I'm going to get it to Davante. Boom, let me get it to Foster Moreau. Let me get it to these guys. Mac Hollins makes a big play. Then the nail in the coffin. Number 30, Duron Harmon comes in with his pick 6. The Raiders' first pick 6 in almost a decade. I mean, it's been crazy. We finally have 2 defensive touchdowns on the season. Obviously, Tiny Meek Robertson went out there and he put it on the Broncos. Then you have Duron Harmon run it back 60 yards for a touchdown. That was a nail in the coffin. The Raiders end up winning that one 38-20. And now we get into week 8. Week 8, the Raiders travel into Big Easy. Halloween weekend. Derek Carr's first time back in the Superdome since 2016. And we remember what happened in that game. Spook went off on a big run. Derek had a big old flip that scared everybody and had everybody going crazy. This is going to be a fun game for a couple of reasons. One, it's Halloween weekend. It's Big Easy. It's Raiders. It's Saints. It's a big game. But 2, this is Derek Carr facing his old coach. This is the coach that drafted him, Dennis Allen. And so he's facing Dennis Allen in this game. It's first time seeing him since we played in the home opener in 2020. But this is going to be the first time in a while that they've seen each other. And this time Dennis Allen's a head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Now you've got Derek Carr, who's 2-0 all time against the Saints.
versus Andy Dalton, who's going to be starting for the Saints. He's 3-0 against the Raiders all time. This is going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be a game where, there's some guys that are banged up. Davante Adams has the flu. He is expected to play. Darren Waller is coming off a hamstring injury. He is expected to play. On the other side of the game, on the other side of the field, you've got Michael Thomas, who's been nursing a toe injury. He is going to be out for his 5th consecutive game. You have Marshawn Lattimore, who is not expected to play. And so who is going to cover Davante? That's going to be the question. And how much run is Davante going to get? I mean, he's been able to rest all week. Is he going to be able to go out there and put together a flu game type situation? These are going to be the guys that I'm going to be keying in to watch. Offensively on the Raiders side of the ball, obviously Derek Carr. He's got to have a sound game. This is a defense that can fly around and can make some plays, but this is also a quarterback that can fly around and make some plays. And so those are the things that I want to see. I want to see Derek get the ball to Davante. I want to see Darren Waller and his progression over the season. He's had the hamstring injuries. He's been dealing with that back and back, forth to forth. We want to see him get back into it and get back to the Darren Waller of old. He's had some drop issues in the beginning. I think that he breaks that and he makes a big impact on this game. Josh Jacobs is obviously still going to be a guy, but they're going to start keying in on him. So what do the Raiders do to combat that? I'd like to see Zamir White get some touches. I'd like to see, like I said, Foster Moreau get included in the game. I want to see Hunter Renfrow get included in the game. Defensively, on the Raiders side of the ball, these guys need to play smart. You have a quarterback who has had some success against the Raiders. He's not had a lot of success in recent years against NFL teams, but he has had a lot of success against the Raiders in his career. So you need to be able to get after him. This is an opportunity for Max Crosby and Chandler Jones to get after the quarterback. We need to see an interior push from the defensive line. I want to see these guys, Farrell Jr., Cleveland Farrell. I want to see, Billings. I want to see Nichols. I want to see all these guys get after it. I want to see Blake Martinez running around on the field making tackles. Denzel Perryman doing what he does best and stopping the run. And in the secondary, don't let big plays happen. Do not let these guys get behind you, because these are guys that can go out there and they can make some plays. And you don't want them to do that. Alvin Kamara is a very good back. Look, I have Alvin Kamara on my fantasy team. I will sacrifice my fantasy team if the Raiders keep tackling them behind the line of scrimmage. If you do that, I'm good with my fantasy team losing this week. I would rather the Raiders lose. I would rather the Raiders win than my fantasy team lose. That's the way I look at things. This is a team. The Raiders are a team that can get back on track. We have a very nice stretch ahead of us. You've got the Jaguars coming up. You've got the Broncos again. You've got teams that these Raiders can beat. And I don't see why the Raiders cannot go on a little run and come out 7-4, coming into week 12. And so those are what I'm excited to see. That's what I'm expecting to see. But that's what I want to get with this team. I want to see this team continue to gel, continue to get together. I'm excited about what I'm seeing from this team, because you're seeing constant progression. I know we were all down on, Josh McDaniels. We were all down on, what's going on with this team. I know people were getting frustrated with Darren Waller. People were getting frustrated with Hunter Renfrow. Injuries happen. Shit happens. You can't control injuries. You can't, and luckily, knock on wood, it's not like some of these other teams. You look at the Chargers, their quarterback's got gummy ribs. They lost J.C. Jackson. They lost Joey Bosa. They lost Mike Williams. A lot of these teams are losing their key players. And so, the Raiders continuing to stay healthy and just continuing to get after it is what I want to see. This is a team, like I said, that can get back in the hunt of things. The AFC West is up for grabs. We thought before the season that the AFC West was going to be on X Games mode and was going to be super. We didn't realize how cooked Russ was. And look, I said I thought Russ was kind of washed. I didn't realize how washed Russ was. The Chargers have been dealing with injuries. They've had their things. The Chiefs are getting stronger. They just added Kadarius Toney. He faked a hamstring injury to get out of New York. I don't know why you would try to get out of New York right now. They're 6-1. New York teams are freaking killing it. And I'm going to say my boy Nick Deus is the reason why they're killing it, because he left. And he took all that bad juju out of there and dropped it in Vegas for a little bit. But we had a dust storm. We're clearing shit out now. We're getting it back. What I'm excited about, Raider Nation, is that there's still a lot of season left. There's still a lot of games to be played. There's still a lot to happen. There's still a lot to go down. And Raider Nation, we can still get this. We can come out on top. First thing we need to do is go in and beat the Saints. Now, Raider Nation, I want you guys to drop your predictions. Drop your predictions in the chat. Drop your predictions in the comments. Drop your predictions wherever you want to drop them, because I want to see what you guys think. What do you guys think is going to happen with this season? And remember, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a review. Drop me a 5 stars. Leave me a little review. Let me know what you think, what you like. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you leave some comments down there. Hit that like button. Hit that bell button, because I'm dropping this content for you. I'm doing this for y'all because I like y'all. I love y'all. Y'all my fans. Y'all my peoples. The reason why I make content is because I love to interact with fans. I love to get my voice out there. I like to be in front of the camera. I mean, shit, this is a pretty face. You know what I'm saying? I like to be in front of the camera. But at the same time, I like the interaction with Raider fans. I like getting different perspectives on the football game. I like getting just different perspectives on what people see out there, things that I may not see, conversations that I have that, oh, wow, I didn't even think about that. But it allows me to look at different perspectives from different angles. And so that's what I enjoy. If you guys are out in Vegas and it's for a home game, make sure you hit up the blackout party. We're putting together a huge party every home game. You've got the Illuminariums popping off. They got me, Raider Cody, Graphic Raider, Samoan Raider. You got Gorilla Rilla out there. You got Raiders players coming through, former Raiders players coming through. Now, obviously, Raiders players aren't coming through the night before a party, but you have a lot of former players that are coming through. Marquette King was there. Jalen Richard was there. You get guys that are coming through. It's fun. It's a good time. Raider Nation turns up. And then on game day, you head over to Barcode Burgers. You get yourself a ticket. It's $55. It's $50 if you use the code REALTALK. You get a ticket to the game. You get drinks. You get a meal. And you get to go to the tailgate. And then when you get to the tailgate, you come party with your boy and J-Lock. And we turn up. You know how we do it. So Raider Nation, make sure you're checking that out. Make sure you're following my guys, everybody on there. Raider Cody, Samoan Raider, Graphic Raider, my boy Joey. Make sure you're following everybody. You're tapped in with everything that's going on in Raider Nation, because Raider Nation, we got a lot going for you, and there's a lot to be excited for this season. And Raider Nation, I want everybody to turn up and everybody to show out, because this is where the Raiders start turning it around. This is where the Raiders start turning it around. The Raiders beat the Texans last week. The Raiders are going to beat the Saints this week. Let's get it, Raider Nation. When we finish this, when we talk about this on Monday on our recap with me and the Raider Way, we're going to be talking about 3-4, close to 500. We're just slowly inching up there, but we're also climbing up the AFC West stats. So Raider Nation, make sure you tap in. Make sure you get fired up. Make sure you're watching these games. Make sure you're loud. Make sure if you're at the game, you're loud and you're representing Raider Nation, because that's what we do. We represent. We go hard. We go hard for our team, whether we're winning or losing. Win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation, until we die. Let's go, Raiders.